Today we're starting our new series, the Unapologetic Manifestation. It's a big book. This is filled with good stuff. Science, metaphysics, a few Bible quotes, meditations, visualizations. I could go on and on and on. So we'd like for you to sign up to purchase this book. They're coming in this week. They're hot off the press. They haven't been available for only about 3 weeks. And it's the newest Unity book on prosperity, abundance, and living a great life, if you're willing. So this is by a man named Ken Daggle. He's the Unity minister in San Francisco. He's a kick. He was a success on Broadway. He was a dancer, a choreographer, a director, a writer. And yeah, it's a great book. Paul is puzzled because he can't find so we'll be fine without them. We'll be fine. And so it is. Yes. Well, it just might be. That was just to get you laughing. Had nothing to do with me. Just because I'm 80, I mean really. Oh, I'm not. So let's do it again. Got everyone involved. I could start over, but I don't think I will. So, as we're looking at something new in our lives, we look back at all the wonderment that has happened at Unity of Salem. Wow. I was hoping Susan and Dick would be here today as the beginners of setting the intention and the energy and what they envisioned would happen to Unity of Salem as they first started to gather people and meet in different places. And I've often wondered all the different Betty Hours and all the different ministers and Reverend Georgie and all the things that occurred. Lives were changed. Your lives were changed. And now we have the opportunity to look beyond what has been to where we are going. And I'm just going to say a lot today. Are you willing? And your answer is yes. Okay, I'm glad we're clear. If you have another answer, Merle got it. Hold it. Change is tricky. Change sometimes is uncomfortable. Change makes me feel a little nervous sometimes. Just like wearing leis on Sunday. This is a new thing for me. This represents the teams that I'm working with. So as we look at change, we look at the big picture and we look at the little picture. And how does it affect me? And how does it affect our community? And how does it affect the world? Now, you and I are a part of many circles in our lives. And many shifts and changes have happened during our lives. Sometimes we were excited, sometimes we were resistant, sometimes we were afraid. So I would just like to acknowledge what has been. What has been. And that we can close the door to what has been. And we can stand at a new door. Would you agree? Yes. Thank you. Would you agree? Yes. Thank you. So, in ancient times, the little teeny story I want to tell, ancient times, people would want to move where they were living because of the natural things that were happening. Maybe the food they were gathering would go out of season, or the rains got too hard, or it got too cold, and they would search for a new land. So in searching for the new land, eventually they would come to a body of water. Now, what do you do to get across the body of water if it's 3,000 years ago, right? Paul and I had the opportunity to be where the Cro-Magnon man caves were found. It was absolutely amazing. Gorgeous depictions of deer and animals on the inside of that cave, and you're only allowed to be in that maybe 15, 20 minutes. They turn the lights on and off. It's quite sacred. And so when we look at that viewpoint, they would come to the body of water. Well, how do you go across that? We have to go across that. We don't have enough food. It's too cold, all those things. So they would get in the water, and of course they got all wet. And at that time, they may have not figured how you move your body. So then someone perceptive would look, and here'd come a log. They could hold on to the log and float down the river. Well, then 2 logs came together, floating down the river. I don't know, next month, next year, 10 years, we don't really know. And it was a raft, right? They could get people on that, and they could go as a group. The next thing that happened in civilization, as the story goes, logs came together with big branches on them, and they realized they could put things on there, and it became a pallet. So all of the stages of growth and understanding, and eventually someone built a bridge. We all know that story. So the evolution of the way we think, the evolution of how we get to where we're going, has to do with our minds, has to do with our thoughts, has to do with our focus. So the focus for the first step in manifestation is dreaming. Are you willing to dream? Dreaming. Dreaming with enthusiasm, dreaming with passion, dreaming with power. So I also couldn't stop thinking about the story of Moses. I don't know why these two thoughts came together, the ancient people and Moses, but they did, in my mind anyway. And Moses, got the Israelites out of Egypt and got them safe, and they were in a land, and they couldn't see where there anything to eat, and then the substance and the plants came up, and that was called manna, and the families grew, but they wanted to go to where? The promised land. That was where their journey was supposed to take them, was the promised land. But they stopped before they got there. And they were safe, and they built their families, and they were happy. But every year Moses would send, anyone know his name? Aaron. Would send Aaron to the promised land to do reconnaissance work. Now Aaron went and he found beautiful fields of food, wonderful, warm, inviting people, good humor. It was just the promised land. He'd go back and he'd tell Moses, and Moses would say, "Not yet." Next year he'd send him, same experience, come back, not yet. He said, not yet, 47 years. That woke me up too. 47 years with the promise of so much waiting just over the mountain. Now, have you ever in your life felt led to go, move on, try something new, but not yet? Right. So what stops us from that next level? Now, sometimes we're being, our intuition says, not yet. However, there are so many times I know in my life that I stopped myself. There might have been a log, but I didn't see it. There might have been a pallet, I didn't see it. There might have been a bridge, but I couldn't see it. Because starts with an F. E-A-R, fear. Anyone? There's 3 of us, and I appreciate your honesty. So, what was it that kept Metaphysically, we're looking at this story now about Moses. Metaphysically, what kept him from moving on, from believing in Aaron, from actually having, here's the other F word, faith. Having faith that what is on the other side is what he's been dreaming of. He's been dreaming of, and he's too afraid to go. Anyone else? Deep breath, deep breath. So we know metaphysically that what Moses did is considered conscious law, intellectual law. He had a plan, he was guided, and he followed through. However, he stopped there. Consciousness, flowing energy would have led him to the next step. And many times we stop our desires here when we could have. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Remember that? So that's what I'm asking Unity of Salem. Could we? Will we? Can we? Now, I shared with you that I have a little saying in my head that often says, I can't. I can't. No, I can't. It was even talking yesterday. I want you to know that. She was just busy. I can't. I must know that we have a similar talking Barbie in here, or whatever you want to call it, talking Charlie in here, because it's a universal saying, I can't. And am I able then to look her in the face, or him? I can. I can dream, no matter what age I am, no matter what my financial abundance is, no matter what my health is. I am capable of dreaming. I am capable of dreaming. There's two of us, okay? Capable of dreaming. So how would we get from here to where Unity of Salem wants to go? I don't think we need to use logs. No, I don't think so. We got a good new lawnmower we're very excited about, but I don't think that's going to get us there. How are we going to get there? You got any ideas? Together, round of applause. Together. Because we are more together. Would you agree? We're more together. We're stronger. We're smarter. We're better looking. All of that together makes us powerful. And agreeing on our dream. Agreeing on our dream. We have work to do on that. We have ideas. We have thoughts. We've created new teams. Now, I am wearing these leis because this is the beginning of Team Sunday, new teams, new ways of getting involved. Now, the only way we are going to float our boat is if everyone is helping. And you might say, well, once again, here's the too old mantra, the I can't mantra, I'm busy mantra, I don't feel like, all those things. Yeah, there it is. And we are not going to move from here to there if we don't all put energy into it. Now, however you put energy into it is your decision, of course. Whether you're on a team or you support a team or financially, whatever way, you are part of moving us from here to there. I wanted to share with you that yesterday when I was sitting, going through all my numerous notes, I found this. Now, it's so interesting to me how I can have 50 files, I pick up one, and it's exactly what I wanted. I held that intention, but very briefly. I had a thought. It was right there. It was right there. Have you had that happen? Yes, I know you have. That's why we're here. Guess what I found? I found the dedication and covenant of Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. Now, in the 1890s, I was just sharing, they were so avant-garde. I mean, they were so out of the box. They were studying world religions. They were studying Christian Science. They were working with rabbis and teachers. And I mean, wow. And they had a dream. And you're sitting in their dream. We are sitting in their dream. My great-grandmother sat in their dream. My grandchildren have sat in their dream. People all over the world, Nigeria, South Africa, Australia, are sitting in this dream. Do you think they ever questioned it? Of course they did. Did they ever stop? No. The dream was bigger than they were, and they knew it. They had no idea who would join them. They had no idea about Salem, Oregon. They had no idea about New Zealand. They had no idea about South America, whereas the greatest growth of unity is happening in South America. It's incredible what is happening with our organization. We're reaching out beyond boundaries and touching young and old alike. I'm going to read you just a little bit. Would you be willing to listen? Yes. Thank you. We, Charles Fillmore and Myrtle Fillmore, husband and wife, hereby dedicate ourselves, our time, our money, all we have, and all we expect to have, to the Spirit of truth, and through it to the Society of Silent Unity. It being understood and agreed that the Society of Unity, Spirit of Truth, shall render unto us our equivalent in health, wisdom, understanding, love, life, and abundant supply. They gave it all for you and me. Conscious mind. In the conscious mind of Christ Jesus, this 7th day of December, 1892. Commitment. Now, that's a bigger word than commitment. That's a full dive. Full dive in the ocean. They didn't even look for the log. They were on it. Now, at the very same time that I picked up that file, there were 2 files. And guess what was in that? It was my credo. Now, when we're in what's called seminary, ministerial school, I spent 2.5 years writing and dreaming about you and about all the ministries I've been in. And I laid it all out. Now, it got corrected. They'd write little notes. What do you mean here? Be specific. And then in the next quarter, you'd write it again, you write it again. And at the very end, here I found the last one. And I wrote about the ministry I desired to build. And I did. The one thing I noticed, I had declared I would have an orchestra. I have not had an orchestra yet. I have a band, and I've had many bands, all different sizes, shapes. I've had 18-year-olds playing the piano. I've had jazz. I've had rock. I've had it all. And I love music, and I love this music team. And I had so many rich experiences, interfaith, with people of all faith, all over Oregon and around the country and around God, everything. And I wanted to focus on health, and I wanted to focus on children, and I wanted to focus on this. And it didn't all come together at once, but over these 45 years, it has come together in different times and in different ways. Working with the community, feeding the homeless, teddy bears on Christmas, all of the things, many of the things you do. I dreamed it, and it happened. And it brought tears to my eyes. What are you dreaming now? What are you dreaming personally? What, if you wrote it down, would it be improved health? Would it be improved finances? Would it be better connection with my family? Would it be travel? Would it be spiritual enrichment? What would you write down? What is your dream? Now, if you know how to do it, that's not a dream, right? If you know how to do it, that's not a dream. That's something you're working on. A dream, we don't know how it's going to happen. Never in Kansas City, Missouri, when I wrote that credo, did I ever think I'd be in Lake Oswego, Oregon, starting with 3 people and building to over 100. I never, in my wildest dreams, would have thought that. But the universe knew, and the more I kept holding it, writing it, visioning, all of those things, doors opened, doors opened, doors opened, doors opened. Are we ready for doors to open? It's a question. And are you ready for doors to open in your life? Because as it happens in our lives, it happens in the community's life, right? As I spiritually grow, as I spiritually understand, as I spiritually go to my inner knowing and listen for guidance, this is different than going to AI for guidance. Darn. See, I do that and I'm not very good at it. So, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What's the highest and best for this community? And we might have different ideas. I hope we do. That makes us strong. That makes us have width and not be narrow. Are you willing to have width and not be narrow? To reach out to so many different people. So, the 5 steps of manifestation, and we are just introducing the first one. We'll go into it more next Sunday. Name and claim your dream. Name and claim your dream. Now remember, this is something you don't know how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, who's going to help you. It's a dream. Now you might have an inkling. You might have an inkling. So breathe into that. It's important to define what you specifically are dreaming. Remember, I asked for an orchestra. I asked for children. I asked for healing classes. Specifically. Envision it. Visualize it to the best of your capacity right now. Bring into your life that what you dream of with clarity. That's what happens often. We have fuzzy thinking. Anyone have fuzzy thinking? Yeah. Anyone change your mind? I changed my mind. I see it this way, I see it this way, and that's a barrier. I can't get past that barrier. Yes, you can, because that barrier, usually we made the barrier, or it's ready to move when I'm ready to move. I'd like a nod. Good. Team? Are we a team? Yes. We are a team. And we're going to have lots of teams, more than we have here today, that are going to be engaged and going forward with different parts of this ministry. I'm excited. I want you to be excited. Okay! She scared me. So I'm going to read a couple lines from the book, and then we are moving into meditation. Remember, you can also buy this book on Amazon. If you have Prime, it'll be there in a day. Please, let's work together on this manifesting. I have the page marked. Conscious manifestation, aligning intention and action. Manifestation happens whether you are aware of it or not. When it is unconscious, it reflects the unexamined fears and limiting beliefs running in the background of your mind, often leading to unintended consequences. Conscious manifestation, on the other hand, is a discipline, practice of embedding your goals into your consciousness through deliberate focus, visualization, and emotional engagement. To manifest consciously and effectively, you must reclaim and direct the power of your focused intention. This involves clearing and directing your mental and emotional energy to align with your desired outcome. Neuroplasticity. The brain's remarkable ability to adapt and change throughout your life plays a key role in this process. There's our science. Repeated and intentional focus on a goal embeds it deeply into your subconscious through a mechanism called value tagging. Has everyone heard of value tagging? So when you repeat it over and over, there's a little tag that your mind remembers. We've been here before. Remember that. Value tagging. Strengthening neural pathways. I love it. And enhancing your brain's ability to notice and act on opportunities aligned with your desires. So what often happens is those desires that we are looking for come right past us. We don't even notice because we're not focused. Last sentence. This alignment of your inner world with your desired reality allows you to take control of your outcome by addressing limiting beliefs, particularly those around money, worthiness, and scarcity. You unlock new possibilities for abundance, sufficiency, and trust is a transformative step in this journey. Yes. Are you ready? Okay, so we need new shoes probably, because the old shoes just might not be ready to get on the track. What is it in you individually that needs to shift? What is it you're ready to acknowledge and let go? Great job. New beginnings. Are you willing to invite someone to come with you? Are you willing to share a unity handout, what's happening? Are you willing to reach out to someone that needs your support, your prayer? How can I help you? How can I support you? How can you be more than you are today? So we're going to move into meditation. We're going to use this chant that Angela introduced to us last week. So if you have anything in your lap, please put it to the side. Get comfy. Get comfy. Wiggle this part. The chair. Bring those shoulders up. Wiggle those hands. Woo! Let the energy flow. And then make that mind blank. Blank. Let the screen come down and it's blank. And as they sing, and then we can join in singing, visualize that dream for yourself and Unity of Salem coming true.
Now is the time to know that everything you do is sacred. Now is the time to know that everything you do is sacred. Now is the time to know that everything you do is sacred. Now is the time to know that everything you do is sacred.
Let's join in.
Now is the time to know that everything we do is sacred. Now is the time to know that everything we do is sacred. Every thought is sacred. Every act is sacred. All is grace. Now is the time to know that everything we do is sacred. Now is the time to know that everything we do is sacred. Everything we do is sacred. Everything we do is sacred.
In the name and through the power of all great spiritual teachers, we are grateful. We're grateful for this knowing and remembering. We are grateful to see beyond our fears and the past and to move forward with grace, with heart, and with vision. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Just breathe a little softly. It's been a good, quiet time together. Quiet time.